When someone replaced my lunch while I was in a meeting, not stole it, replaced it. I opened my lunchbox expecting my sad little turkey sandwich. Instead, there was a perfectly made grilled chicken wrap. Same lunchbox, same napkin. Wrong lunch. I just stared at it. Someone had broken into my lunch and somehow upgraded it. I looked around the office. Nobody seemed suspicious. So I asked the obvious question, did someone eat my lunch? Everyone looked confused. No. Why? I held up the wrap. This wasn't mine. One guy looked at it and said, honestly, I'd keep that. The next day, it happened again. My boring bag of chips gone. Now I had kettle cooked chip, my generic soda, replaced with fancy sparkling water. Whoever was doing this had expensive taste. By Wednesday, I was fully committed. I wrote a giant note. Please don't touch my lunch. I even underlined it twice. After lunch, the note was still there. My lunch was completely different. Someone had even added homemade cookies. Now I wasn't angry anymore. I was confused. Who spends money improving someone else's lunch? Thursday, I skipped the meeting, turned off my monitor, and hid behind the break room door. 10 minutes later, someone walked in, opened the office fridge, picked up my lunchbox. I tightened my grip on my coffee mug, ready to catch the lunch thief. Then I froze. It was our CEO. He calmly opened my lunchbox, took out my sandwich, replaced it with a fresh one, added a cookie, closed the lid, and turned around. That's when he saw me. We both just stood there. Finally, I asked, sir? He sighed. I was hoping you'd never find out. What are you doing? He looked at my original sandwich, then looked back at me. You've been eating the same depressing lunch for 6 months. You eat like a divorced raccoon. I didn't even know how to respond. Then he pointed at the homemade wrap. My wife packs extra food every morning. She saw your lunch once and said nobody should have to live like that. So, you've been replacing my food? He nodded. Technically, I blinked. Isn't this lunch fraud? He smiled. Probably. But have you tried the cookies? I looked down, took one bite, paused. These are incredible. He smiled. I know. Then he grabbed my original sandwich, held it up, and said, seriously, I'm doing you a favor. From that day on, I stopped bringing lunch. And every morning, there was a fresh lunchbox waiting on my desk. I never figured out how to thank his wife, so I settled for one thing. I never brought another turkey sandwich to work again.